July 10th, 11:28 a.m., District Court, Court number 3. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. We are here in the continuing trial after a brief recess. I'm not going to do a recap because I honestly don't even remember what happened last time. If you want to know what happened, watch my previous video. Court is now back in session. Mr. Justice, have you sorted things out with the defendant? Yes, Your Honor. We had a good talk. Very well. So will he testify? Your Honor, the defendant will not testify. What? Shane, and here I thought this was your big chance to turn the case around. Actually, it is. The defense would like to approach this case from a different angle, Your Honor. A different angle? If Machi won't testify, then I know who will. I will cross-examine the witness in this case. Lemuel. Lemuel?
Objection!
What are you up to now? I thought we determined yesterday that Lemuel's testimony was insubstantial. There's nothing you can... Lemuel was taken to the hospital yesterday with injuries. What happened? She was assaulted, Your Honor. Assaulted? Someone wanted Lemuel dead. Thankfully, she was able to save herself. What? I've heard Nose's report. Prosecutor Gavin. Why would anyone be out to kill Lemuel? Can you think of a reason? Well, think of how she is known in our country. A singer, overseas, who doesn't speak English, yes? Yet someone tried to keep her mouth shut. Who could that have been? You don't think... I do. It was the same person who shot Mr. Latouche. The killer was afraid of her, afraid of what she might say. The defense believes that something was hidden in her testimony yesterday. Something that the killer doesn't want getting out. So am I to understand that this is what you are saying? Namely, that there was a nugget of truth in Lemuel's testimony? A nugget we have yet to uncover? Exactly. If Lemuel was attacked, this has serious implications. Very well. There were some vague points in her testimony during yesterday's trial. Perhaps we did not inquire as deeply as we might have into some. The court will hear Lemuel's testimony once more. Lemuel, I must apologize. We must ask you to stand again and speak. You need not apologize. I know that Machi is innocent. And I will do all that I can until the court realizes this. Let's review your testimony from yesterday. You told us you heard 2 gunshots and the shooter's voice through the window. And then the voice belonged to Darian Crescent, yes? That is correct. At which point I proved she could not be correct. She couldn't have heard any of those things. The small window in the scene was closed and was found to be quite soundproof. You have nothing to say to that, Mr. Justice? I don't know exactly what yet, but I do know there's something there. There is, it seems, much you do not know. And yet it is my duty to hear him out. Perhaps the witness would be so kind as to testify once more to the court? Of course, Your Honor. What I heard. I was one way from the backstage exit. That's when I heard them, Mr. Latouche and the detective. I heard the faint sound of a gunshot and stopped. Then I heard another gunshot. There was the smell of gunpowder. I knew I must tell someone, but I was in a hurry, so I kept moving past the small window. Pretty much the same as yesterday's testimony. I am sorry. I'm not used to speaking much in this language. Perhaps my descriptions are lacking in some way. Yet everything I have said here is the truth. It is my distinct displeasure to say this. What you have said to have happened is impossible. Do I have to repeat myself? Lemuel was attacked because of this testimony. Excuse me, need water. What? Trucy? Apollo, for a moment there, you were pretty cool. Maybe you do better when I don't try to think ahead. Very well, Mr. Justice. Perhaps you can coolly cross-examine the witness. Let's press that one.
Hold it!
Darian Crescent? I did not know his name at the time. But yes, it was him. The one who took the sand yesterday. How many times do I need to remind you that that's impossible? There was no way you could have hurt him. Because the window scene was closed? Is that why? Of course. Apollo, if we keep asking the same questions as yesterday, we won't get anywhere. She's right. Maybe there's a different angle I can try. What were they talking about? Lemuel, do you by any chance remember what they were saying to each other? If so, please tell us. I have given it much reflection, but I was afraid of this. She doesn't remember. I only heard one phrase clearly. A whole phrase? You remember something that was said? Why didn't you say anything yesterday? Though my memory is clear, I was afraid to speak. You see, I don't understand what was said. This could be it. The clue I've been waiting for. Well, what did he say? It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche. The shooter then, Darian Crescent. But what did he say? It's over. Press the switch. Now. Switch? And the shooter said this to the victim, Mr. Latouche? I thought it quite strange myself afterward. It is a mystery. What could it possibly mean? Mr. Justice, care to shed some light on this? Sure. I'd be delighted. It's very vital. Maybe we can add that to the testimony. Maybe, Apollo? From the small window, I heard a voice say, "Press the switch, now." Wait, where is it? Ah, there it is. I think that's what this is. This has to be the switch they're talking about.
Objection!
Press the switch. There's only one key that can unlock the mystery of those words. Oh? Yet there was nothing in the scene that can be called a switch, save the lights. True, there wasn't a switch in the scene. But it just so happens, I have a switch right here. That really does look like a switch, doesn't it? The problem is, this was found not in the scene of the crime, but on the stage. The stage? Where the concert was held, yes. It was found hidden there. On the stage. Are you claiming that the voice Lemuel heard was of someone commanding another to press this switch? It's a possibility.
Objection!
Oh yeah, forehead? I'd call that an impossibility. Why? It's hardly necessary for me to remind the court of the layout of the concert form. The stage is quite far from Lemuel's dressing room. No, it's not that far. And I mentioned that the Gaviers were in the middle of a concert on said stage. We aren't known for being quite a quiet band. You could shout all you wanted and not be heard. The detective's voice was loud, but certainly not a shout. So too, Javier Forehead's cries of possibility, falling far short of being heard. Sorry, but he wouldn't have needed to shout. Excuse me? You heard what I said, or did you need me to shout it out for you? Ouch. It would have been quite simple for it to be heard on the stage from that dressing room. Oh wait, you like evidence, don't you? How about this? Using this, it would be easy to get a message to someone on stage from the dressing room. That would be this.
Take that!
Prosecutor Gavin, perhaps you are familiar with this. Why is that? Why that's... What? What is it? Is it some kind of new fangled phone they invented while I wasn't looking? This is a type of transmitter, a communications device. Communications device? From what I've heard, that night, everyone on stage was wearing one of these. Isn't that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Yes, actually. Before talking between band members. We all had one on. So you admit that if you were wearing one of these, talking from the backstage to the stage would be simple.
Objection!
True, but wait. There was an out in the electronic signal. To avoid interference with the audio systems, the range is quite limited. And you said it was about 30 feet, right? Look at this cross-section diagram of the concert forum. Ah, exactly. The walk from the stage to the backstage seems far. The directive distance is less than 30 feet. That can't be. So when Lemuel heard the shooter's voice, he could have been talking to someone on stage.
Objection!
Ha! You're claiming that this is the switch in question? Why did it have to be on the stage at the time? It could be placed in a pocket and carried anywhere. Someone could have hid it on the stage after the fact. Hey, he's got a point. How do we know where it was when we heard the voice? When the shooter said, press the switch. Well, I guess we don't. An unfortunate situation. I'm afraid that until we know where the switch was, there's little point in debating it. Ugh. I was sure this was the way to go with this. What is the switch, anyway? We don't even know that basic fact. Wait a second. I do know where this switch is. And if you follow that train of logic into its incredible conclusion, it ends up in proof that completely changes this case. What's up, Apollo? Apollo? We know about this switch, right? We know what it is. Yeah? Well, think of when it was used that day. Think of what happened. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further information to share concerning the switch... Your Honor. Yes, Mr. Justice? I've been remiss in not telling the court this before. I know what this switch is. Well, it seems the defense is set up upon linking this switch to the case. Let's see your evidence of the link. What evidence do you have to explain what this switch is? That is this igniter.
Take that!
Prosecutor Kevin, you remember this? Ah, that's that. That's that what? Is that another one of those newfangled phones? This is an igniter. What phone looks like this? Igniter? You mean it's like a lighter? Yes, actually. You aren't saying this switch is a remote? I am. This is a remote trigger for an igniter. What? Look, I'll show you. Yow, 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 yow! Mr. Justice, you were ceased and desisted from burning down this courtroom. Sorry, that was a bit more fire than I'd expected. If my whiskers had caught on fire? Prosecutor Gavin, let me repeat myself. This switch is a remote igniter trigger. Doesn't that suggest something to you? You're talking about what happened to me, aren't you? Ah! Exactly. That night at the concert, there was one unusual burst of flame. When your guitar caught fire in the middle of the performance. Wasn't that part of the stage show, though? Prosecutor Gavin was entirely unaware such a thing had been planned. And the guitar I had burned up was a valuable keepsake. That's right, you got it in Bulgaria from Lemieux. He said the sound was amazing. Before it burned, of course. Now it's just kind of smokes. The better the guitar, the brighter it burns. Forehead. Yes? Don't tell me you were trying to tie these two things together. Those being the shooter's voice, heard by Lemieux, and the guitar suddenly catching on fire? I am. It's really simple when you think about it. Mr. Lattuso and the shooter were at the crime scene. The shooter was wearing a headset. He ordered someone on stage to press the switch. The switch was pressed, and the guitar caught fire. Well, that does seem to make sense. Though something about it is bugging me. Can't quite put my finger on it. Really, it seems pretty simple to me.
Objection!
Forehead, don't destroy what little respect I have for you. What little respect I have for you. I was expecting something a little more sensible. I guess I was wrong. What's this all about, Prosecutor Gavin? This simple story simply makes no sense. Think, that night my guitar caught fire, yes. The cause may have been this indeed. However, the guitar caught fire during the second set. Ah, that's right. Of course. The guitar caught fire during the Lemieux song. Indeed, yet the shooting event during the third set. The two are utterly unrelated. Yes, that must have been what was bugging me. The whole premise for this is faulty. See? His story makes no sense.
Objection!
Are you sure about that? What exactly do you mean, Mr. Justice? Maybe it's not the premise for my explanation of the switch that's at fault. Maybe it's your premise for the entire case so far. What premise is this, specifically? I'm glad you asked. I'm saying that maybe the killing didn't take place in the third act.
Objection!
What's this? But Detective Emma Skye heard the shots and found the body. All this happened in this third act.
Objection!
Gunshots rang out, and according to his testimony, Monty was in that dressing room at the time. Where are you going with this, Mr. Justice? Stay with me, Your Honor. He also told us in this in his testimony. Namely, the victim had already been shot. We all heard gunshots, but no one saw the shooting. This is insane. Just before the shooting took place, the shooter was put on his headset, telling someone to press the switch. The next moment, Prosecutor Gavin's guitar burst into flame. We know that a remote-triggered igniter was inside the guitar. From all these facts, we can draw only one conclusion. The crime did not take place during the third act, but during this Bob Ballad performance, the second act. What? Order. But that goes against the evidence. What does, Your Honor? This crime was carried out according to the lyrics of that song, yes? Hey, he's right. Look. The bullet is supposed to come after the fire. You're thinking about it the wrong way. Huh? Look. Why would a shooter craft the events of the day to follow the lyrics anyway? It's an awful lot of trouble to go through. With little merit for the person doing it. Well, I'm sure whoever it was had some reason. Yes, they did. A reason that made it advantageous to follow the lyrics. You're saying the order was reversed on purpose? Reversed, Prosecutor Gavin? If the criminal followed the lyrics strictly, then yes. The shooting would have had to come after the guitar burst into flame. Yet Airforehead has raised another possibility. He's claiming that the bullet came not after, but just before the fire. I couldn't have put it better myself. We were only meant to think that the shooting came after the guitar burst into flame. That was the criminal's objective. The criminal crime followed the lyrics to a point, but that was the ruse. Why else would the killer risk discovery by moving the body? That was the final touch to make us think he'd followed the lyrics the whole way. Order, order, order! That would explain this most unusual situation. It does. The killer changed the order of events to create himself an alibi. In other words, the killer was someone who had an alibi for the third set, but not the second.
Objection!
I was hoping you wouldn't come to this, but sadly, it has. Let me tell you why your little fairy tale makes no sense at all. Oh, it sounds good, I'll give you that. You've given us a reason why the killer bothered following the lyrics of my song. But I question your logic. For it's flawed from the very beginning. Flawed? Yes, a contradiction, Airforehead. One I've pointed out several times, no less. At the time of the crime, the small window in the scene was closed. How could Lemuel have heard a voice through it? Oh. I know that you would like to divert our attention from this critical fact, but you're basing your entire line of reasoning on a false premise. Right. Lemuel's testimony is my entire case. That voice she heard, the shooter's voice. What if she couldn't hear it, Apollo? Look, what do we have? A man saying, press the switch. And near the crime scene, we have a switch, which acts as a remote trigger for an igniter. And last but not least, Prosecutor Gavin's flaming guitar. It can't be all coincidence, but how do I make it work? I see a more direct line of questioning is required. When the crime scene was investigated, immediately after the crime, that window was closed. Care to tell us how Lemuel heard the voice? A key point, to be sure. Mr. Justice, can you explain this to the court? Okay, Justice, you've got one thing to prove, and one thing only. Lemuel heard a voice, and you heard it during the second set. Think, how was Lemuel able to hear the voice? I think it was somewhere else. She was somewhere else. When we investigated the scene, the window was closed. The shooter had no reason to close it, had it been open, either. Meaning, it was impossible to hear the voice through that window. Ah, it's good to hear you making sense again. For a moment, I was afraid you might be a Boginian too. As I was saying, Lemuel could not hear the voice through that window. So there can be only one explanation. She heard the voice from another location entirely. What's this? You do amuse me so. Anyway, I thought you had good... I thought you and good sense? Oh. Okay. Anyway, I thought you and good sense and we're back on speaking terms. Now, I'm afraid you in good sense speak in two entirely different languages. Shall I interpret for you, Airforehead? Lemuel clearly said she heard the voice through that small window. And there was only one small window in the scene. Are you sure? Think about it. Isn't there another small window in the scene? There is? Ah, I know that look. You must ask him. Very well. You claim Lemuel heard the voice from another location? Mr. Justice, show us where this location was. Lemuel heard the voice from here. I want to say one of these vents here. Was it? It was either this one, or perhaps it was one of these. Okay, I think that's it. Hopefully this is accurate.
Take that!
Does this look like a small window to you, Mr. Justice? The state of modern society can be read from numerous objects and artifacts. In a sense, anything can be a window on our society. I didn't ask you to point out a window on society. I want a window on the crime scene. Hey, I was correct. No points for trying. Okay. Lemuel claims she heard a voice through a small window. And the small window we know about was closed. There's only one other thing she could have meant. Lemuel heard the voice from here. Okay. It has to be this one. Right here.
Take that!
This is where Lemuel heard that voice from. But that's no small window. That's the air vent. What did she tell us? She said she's a Bulgarian, unfamiliar with our language. It's not a stretch to imagine she'd call this air vent a small window.
Objection!
Now you've done it. You've gone beyond ridiculous and into ludicrous. Are we at ludicrous speed now? So Lemuel was up in the ventilation system listening to this man's voice? That's the only logical explanation, yes. Logical? I do not think this word means what you think it means, Airforehead. Okay, now I have to do that for this bright clip.
You keep using that word. I do not think it means what you think it means.
Man, I love that movie. I don't think this word means what you think it means, Airforehead. Okay, what about it isn't logical? Ha! You know, you're sane. Why would a Lemuel be in a ventilation system? Hiding like a rat. Not vegetative for her, of course. The explanation for that is simple, Prosecutor Gavin. Isn't it, Lemuel? You have been listening to our discussion here, yes? Yes. I admit, it's had me quite confused since yesterday. It's had me quite confused since yesterday. Yes, the small window was closed. But why should that mean I could not hear through it? I fear the prosecutor might himself need an interpreter. The problem here is words. Lemuel, this small window through which you heard the voice, was it up high on the ceiling of the room, not low on a wall? Yes, it was up on the ceiling. What? Order, order, order! I will have order. Witness, you will clarify this statement to the court. Are you in fact saying that you were up above the ceiling of the room? And that's where you heard the moment of the crime? Yes, in fact I was. I am sorry. I never imagined it would become such an important point. Yes, well, why the heck were you up there? I believe it's time for another testimony. I'm not sure I can't. May I remind you that this is a murder trial? We will hear your testimony. Tell us why you witnessed the crime from above the ceiling of that room. Please. Well, looks like I'm on the right track. Above the ceiling. Yes, I was above the ceiling when I heard the voice. I had heard there was a small window there before. It was in the middle of my performance. I had no time to report what I had heard. As to why I was there, I cannot say. I am bound to secrecy on this matter. Bound to secrecy? In my line of work, one has many obligations to uphold. But you say you were in the middle of your performance. So this did happen during the second set. I did not witness the crime. You must understand. I only know what I heard. Yes, but you must tell us what you were doing, in detail. That's what the cross-examination is for, yeah, Airforehead? Our mission in this court is to discern the truth. No obligation, no binding pact may hinder that mission. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. What are you going to do, Apollo? I'm going to find out the truth. She was up above that ceiling for a reason. I just had to get it out of her. Okay, we're almost done with this section of the trial. I'm going to go ahead and finish this section, then we'll do the next one in a later video. Okay. Okay. Hang on. Oops. What is going off? Let's see here. We have one thing we can show them. And that is this. Not that. This.
Objection!
Lemure, truth be told, the reason for your presence above that ceiling is quite clear. Especially when you consider what happened during your performance. What happened? Yes, it's all right here on this video. I'm not sure why, but I sometimes have trouble opening my water bottle. Yes, it's all right here on this video. As we can see, Lemure was clearly not on stage for her entire performance. Though it sends me to be so realistic. Lemure is incapable of actually vanishing, let alone teleportation. So the only explanation is that she was hidden from view. And during that time, she moved to the back of the form. Apollo? What, Trucy? It's not nice to reveal magician's secrets. It is against the rules. I'm a warrior. I'm not supposed to be nice. This is all very fascinating. But how is it possible? There was only 20 seconds between when she disappears and reappears. She couldn't have moved that fast. Is something wrong, Prosecutor Gavin? This was his concert, his show. He knows how the illusion was performed. Aha! He's just realizing his own oversight. Let's look at the cross-section diagram again. Here we can trace a route through the ceiling. It goes from the stage through the backstage to the rear of the forum. Recalling your testimony from yesterday, I was on my way from the stage to the backstage exit. There was something like a little window there. That's how I saw it. She went from the stage to the backstage exit. A perfect description of this route above the ceiling. Anyone knew of this because of her part in the illusion. But she wasn't the only one who knew. What? Just now in the lobby, Monty told me something. I know if I open the vent, I can leave stage and backstage. He said that? Oh, were you not informed, Prosecutor Gavin? I knew about the Vanishing Act, of course. Wow, he seems calm now. Yeah, I had no idea of the route that would be used. Why didn't that magician tell me? Magicians only reveal details of their acts on a need-to-know basis. They're the bread and butter of a magician's life, you know. Which is why he's bound Lemure to secrecy. Well, Lemure, I am impressed, Mr. Attorney. Monty was right about you. So, what does this mean? Are you saying that you used this route above the ceiling? I did. Well, that's that. But I'm still a little confused. Why is that, Your Honor? As I said before, there was a very little time between when she disappeared and when she reappeared. 20 seconds, tops. How could she do it so fast? Especially if she stopped to hear the shooter's voice. That's a good question. Can the witness explain this to the court? I cannot. Very well, Mr. Justice. Yes? It's all up to you. Do your thing. What thing, Your Honor? You need to explain how Emio was able to teleport like she did. While I'm throwing your case out with the bathwater. Ugh. Why do I get picked on? It's Emio who's going along with the program here. As I've stated before, I am not at liberty to speak of the illusion that night in detail. Then you'll just have to tell us what you can. We'll hear your testimony on this. Mr. Justice, it will be your job to wring the truth out of her. Yes, if you would, please. Right. I feel like a student before the finals. Good luck, Apollo. The Big Illusion. I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. There was an emergency exit in the backstage where a stagehand waited. From there, one can enter the forum on the opposite side from the stage. The plan was for me to move there in 2 minutes. I was on my way when I heard the voice. 2 minutes, you say? The mystery deepens. I suppose it was too much to hope that the judge would come up with something. It's just my curiosity. Take it away, Mr. Justice. Right, Your Honor. All I have to do is find the contradiction between what Lemio is saying and what we can see plainly in the video. I figured it out already. I am a magician after all. Don't tell me. Not a chance. I can't reveal another magician's secrets. Come on. Hey, you're supposed to be on my side here. Let's see here. Let's see.
Hold it!
2 minutes? Yes, you can be done in 1 minute if you're running. Running? In that cramped tunnel above the ceiling? Haha, Mr. Tony, have you forgotten? Walk a bit, it makes no difference to me. Ah, that's true, but... So you're saying that on the night of the concert, you made the trip in 2 minutes? Yes, though I nearly didn't make it in time. You see, I stopped halfway. Lemuel disappears on the video for 20 seconds. But she says she made the trip in 2 minutes. How? If you want my professional opinion, I'll bet the answer is right there in that video. And this may be why we have to watch this video over and over again for the answer. Now, Mr. Justice, perhaps you have some evidence for us. Something that can explain the discrepancy between the video and her testimony. Evidence explain the discrepancy? Of course, evidence. There's one piece of evidence that explains the discrepancy between video and testimony. That would be this.
Take that!
Lemure, do you happen to remember this brooch? Aha, the brooch. We saw that yesterday, did we not? It was found in the scene, Your Honor. And you're bringing this up now? Why? I thought we had already determined when that was dropped. So did I, but we hadn't. Take another look at the video. Here, you can see she's wearing the brooch. So she is. Let's look a bit later. What? The brooch. It's gone. What? Yes. The brooch disappeared in a short space of 20 seconds. And it takes a full minute to run from the stage to the backstage. Which means there can only be one explanation. The Lemure we see before the Vanishing Act and the Lemure we see after are two different people. What? The brooch was found on the floor at the crime scene. And not just on the floor, but on the floor directly beneath the air vent. Directly beneath it, because there's like an angle here. Lemure, tell me, did you drop the brooch on your way from the stage to the backstage? In the very moment you witnessed the crime? Yes, I think I did. Order, Prosecutor Gavin. From your expression, I gather you had no idea this was the case, Air Judge. I, of course, knew about it. What? Don't get me wrong, I wasn't hiding it. It just never occurred to me that the switch and the shooting took place at the same time. So, I was right? There was a switch? There was. Just before the stage's tower rose, Lemure was replaced. While we're on the subject, just who was this replacement Lemure? Why, the man behind the illusion, Valant Gremory. It was Gremory? That's part of the illusion, but I still don't get one thing. Yes? The switch happened before the tower rose, correct? So you went on the stage. That's right. But this, fake Lemure is still singing. And she's pretty good. That's true. Come on, Apollo. That's an easy one. They were just playing a recording. The Geminus aren't some kind of air guitar band, Fraulein. Oh? You mean I'm wrong? When we play a show live, we play live. No recordings. Perhaps you can explain, Lemure? Very well. Yes, do tell, and add it to your testimony. I had to keep singing, even while I moved. The contradiction between Lemure's testimony and the video. Unraveling an illusion can't be so different from solving a normal case, right? Sorry, Apollo. I'm not telling, not even if you make those puppy-eyed dog faces. Fine. I followed the route exactly as I was instructed. You were singing? Wait. I had to keep singing even while I moved. Yes. Mr. Gammon expressed a dislike for recordings. So I used this. Wait. So you were singing the whole time? Even when you were crawling above the ceiling towards the backstage? Why should it matter where I sing? Whenever I go is the same darkness. But if you were singing while you were walking, that's right. Wouldn't the shooter and victim have heard? She was singing right over their heads, after all. That is right. Are you sure? You'd have to be pretty hard of hearing to miss someone singing in the ceiling. Once again, we come back to the scene of the crime. What state? Ack, I know what he means. The old speaker, Apollo. The speaker. That speaker was blaring at the time of the murder. Ah, that's for monitoring the stage from this room. Monitoring? And perhaps in a real-time feed from the stage microphones. Useful for knowing when your set is coming up. Satisfied? That dressing room was fitted with a large speaker playing a direct feed from the stage. At my request, actually. So Lemure singing in the ceiling sounded just like Lemure singing over the speaker. Ingenious! Her voice was hidden. By her voice. Ah. Lemure? I have just remembered something. Do tell. When I heard the noise, the gunshots, yes, it startled me. I stopped singing. What? I forgot the words I was supposed to sing. The song stopped? Thankfully, it was the very beginning of the second verse. So not many would notice. Forehead, that mixing board I lent you, where is it? The mixing? Huh? That machine, Apollo. The one that breaks the music into tracks. Oh, this. I'd completely forgotten about it. Let's take a listen. Oh boy. Give me 1 second, please. Okay, let's take a listen. song does stop there. It does? I must have missed it. Look at the lyric sheets at the top of the second verse. See where it says pleasure, pleasure? Now listen again. This is evidence indeed. I believe you are guilty of making a terrible mistake. The crime didn't happen during the third set. It happened during the second, during Lemuel's ballad. If that is true, then no one on stage during the second set could have been the shooter, which means that Darien Crescent could have done it. He was on stage for the second set. Now, Prosecutor Gavin? Fascinating. I don't believe I've ever seen a trial turned around quite so thoroughly. Yet one problem remains. What's that, Prosecutor Gavin? FOS theory does have a certain kind of logic to it. Yeah, it is entirely based upon Lemuel's testimony. Yes? Is there a problem with this? Well, it's quite simple, though it pains me to say it. What if he is lying to protect the defendant?
Objection!
But you have no proof. All I'm saying is that the truth is as yet unclear, until we hear directly from the man himself. The man? You don't mean... Yes. Though he's a friend and a band member, Darien Crescent must take the stand. I see no other way. As someone with a new perspective in the case, as a suspect, to be frank. Finally, the rat's coming out of his hole, and I'm ready to catch him. Darien Crescent, get ready for justice. This is as good a time as any to pause for a brief recess. The prosecution will summon the witness. Have him here and ready by the time we begin. I'm the last man who needs to be reminded of what his duties are. Very well, court is adjourned for a 15-minute recess. To be continued. Finally. And with that, everyone, I shall end the video here. And next time we shall continue with the trial. And depending on how long it takes me, I might have to do the entire thing in one video. Hopefully it won't, but if I do, it'll be like no more than 2 parts. And that's just, I can't really do more than that. So anyway, until next time everyone, hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, go ahead and hit that like button, and we'll see you all next time. So until then, take care.